Hello everybody, welcome to Red Tool House. Today is part 2 of our boar corral project, and we're going to start on our pig footbridge, or as my buddy Matt said, the pig hoof bridge would be anatomically correct. So come see what we got going on. So in our part 1 video, Cam and I got the creek fixed, so we got it routed the right way, and he and I got these foam poles set. You're waiting to see if I'm going to fall, aren't you? To be able to be our footbridge for our pigs. So feel free to go back and look at part 1 if you want to understand what in the world's going on here. We won't waste everybody's time redefining what we're doing. So today, it's time to get the deck and the sides on our footbridge. So with the extremely productive help of my team, who's actually looking for frogs right now, we're going to try to get our deck boards cut, get an assembly line going here, and get this laid down quick. So earlier this week, I milled some poplar boards, and we milled them 6/4 or 1.5 by, and I've got some 8-inch, I got some 9-inch, and that's what's going to be for our floor deck of the bridge. Wanted it a little extra thick, of course. Pig's not the lightest thing in the world, so as the boars are walking across that, don't want them just walking on one by us. So Kelly's cutting everything to length here as we need it, and we'll get the deck down, and then I'll show you what we're going to do for handrails. Not handrails, pigs don't have hands.
Glasses blow off into the mud.
Are those the properly sized safety glasses for your head?
They're a tad big.
My goodness. Where did we find those? Those things are huge.
Where's the little ones?
I don't know. Look at the size of those things. They're gargantuan.
All right, now it's not time to make fun.
Jump up and down, test. So what do you think?
Pretty cool. And these for skinny pigs.
Well, I don't expect them to go 2 by 2. I believe my hips and your hips are wider than a boar hips. One boar hips. See, watch. Boink! Alright, so that's very sturdy.
Now we need to build one for the car on the creek crossing.
For the car? Oh yeah, I don't think the car would drive across this. Unless you could do Dukes of Hazzard on 2 wheels. All right, so now it's time for the railing. Isn't this neat though? This is kind of like a entrance into a park. You can sit here, dangle your feet over the bridge, and look at the garbage trapped in the mud. Look at the mattress and whatever the heck that is. Well, so our next step is to create a handrail, and I keep calling it a handrail, but pigs don't have hands. But clearly we can't expect the boars just to walk across this. If they come home drunk one night and stumbling across this bridge, we definitely don't want them falling off. So we're going to put some walls up, but that will require putting some posts like you would have for handrail. So I think I got a plan for that. Since we're just using foam poles, we're going to do an attachment and bracing underneath that comes up. So let's see what we got going on here. Come here, guys, everybody. Stage 2. Stage 3. I thought you were going to smack me with that.
No.
That would be 6 3.
I don't speak a French. I don't speak French. All right, so now we got to do our railing. So that's why we have the 2x4s. So I need 2 2x4s. Where'd my paper go? Here's my master plan. On a tiny little piece of paper. Don't ask me where I drew this up. It's not toilet paper. Okay, so here's what we're doing. We need I'm going to make it a little bit longer. So I need 2 80-inch long 2x4s. Go ahead and square both ends. Oh, see? And then I'll need 4 48-inch, and then we'll figure out what we got to fill in there. So let's first just start with the 2 80-inch, okay? Good. You'll be touching my beard now, boy. I don't think you're going to get it out of that one. Maybe. Oh, look, you will. Glory be. You don't have to true up that first end because it's square. I cut it, so naturally it's exactly square. It's 100% 90 degrees, or 90% 100 degrees. Hey Liam, hop down here please. Alright, you need to get down here in the creek. Alright, see this mark here? There should be a mark that matches that here on the side of the log. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this board underneath it like this. And I want you to try to line those two, try to line up the center of this board with that mark, okay? So like this. You got it? Okay, I'm going to send it to you. I'm going to push it to you some more. Hold that for a second. So how many your tape measure first?
Here's one.
I gotta put one in it. Means I gotta get closer. Okay, so with the handrail supports, we went underneath with the horizontals, kind of centered those up, stuck them out like wings. And Kelly's cutting some angle boards now, so we'll do probably a 4-foot long board here with angle to close this off to make a right triangle. And that'll give us, we've got 2 attachment points, one here in the into the actual log, one to the board underneath, and then we put this horizontal or this angle in here. That'll really make it strong. It's pretty strong now. I would make this, I would say this is very comfortable for being a regular handrail for people, but for boards we want that to be stronger. So we're going to put a 45 in here and really bolt this down. So when we go to put our rail boards on, or our actual corral wall boards on, then it'll cover up our little gap here, and that should hopefully even make that more strong.
You get those super safety glasses on.
Safety glasses.
Grande.
You must have been a really good color as a kid. You stayed in the lines and everything. Yeah, that's tricky. That's a tricky one.
It's marked for a left-hander.
Is it? Is it really?
Yes.
All right, I'll do it then.
I can do it.
Cam, hold that in, please. Okay, not yet. Wait till she gets situated.
Okay, how about that?
Yeah, don't cut my cord. You're lifting up.
Okay, so these angle braces really strengthened up my verticals, and when I put my sides on, I think it's going to strengthen up even more. One thing I could do if I really want to be super aggressive is I could put a cross member here, because obviously a boar is going to be able to walk through that. It just ceases to be people friendly at that point, and I'm reluctant to do that. We'll save that till as a last resort because I want to be able to walk through here as well. Now, you may be wondering, okay, you've only got 2 vertical attachment points. How are you going to do boards on these ends? Well, what we'll do is we're going to use our pipe, our gas pipe that we've used in the past, and we're going to drive gas pipe posts in, and then I will attach 2x4s to the pipe posts. So then have that on either side. So I'll have 4 pipe posts on each of the 4 corners, 2x4 attached, and then I can just start nailing my 1x. I've got 1x7s, 1x8s that we've run on the mill, and just fill that in. So it'll almost be a solid chute, no gaps, well, maybe little gaps as it dries, but no major gaps for the pig to see through and not even know that he's really walking on a bridge per se, just walking through a little chute. And so we'll have a gate as well here so I can close off the corral if we need to. And the neat thing about this, other than the fact that it's standing over water, I can come back and add, if I really wanted to be froggy, I could add some boards here to make almost like a side, a person stand, maybe even elevate it a little bit. And with a gate here and a gate there, I could actually use this as a chute to sequester a boar and do some administration of medicines, wormer, take blood sample, do whatever, because this becomes almost like a head gate. He's not really going to turn around inside here. And if I've got him closed off, then I can do what I need to do and not be inside with him. I could actually put a little riser here so I could lean over and do that type of stuff. So just another, trying to think of all the different opportunities I can have to use this for more than just a way to get somebody to walk across the creek. All right, so we're going to take a little break. I think it's lunchtime. My crew's giving me the lunch eyeballs, so I'm going to take a break, and then I'll probably lose all my help after that. So, but we'll come back and carry on. Well, as normal around here, lunch turned into 2 days. So fast forward 2 days, and now we're going to get back to putting in the pipe. And I say we, I mean me, because I did lose my help 2 days ago, and they're not helping today. So anyway, that's the beauty of video editing. So let's start driving some pipes in on our corners, and then I'm going to attach 2x4s to these pipes. That's the plan, at least. We'll see how this works out. Get those driven in first, and then see if we can line up some 2x4s to have some nailers here. Edit that part out. All right, so hour and a half to drill 2, 4, 6, 8 holes. Yeah. So look good on paper, not so hot an actual doing. Obviously, tools, drill bits, went through 2 drill bits. So if I'm gonna do that for the corral over here, I gotta figure out a better way to attach those. Let me look at self-tappers. I think I may have mentioned that already. Evenings running together. Okay, so now it's time to put some corral boards on, and we're going to try to do that before it gets dark. So I ran out of daylight last night before I could get some shots of finishing it up, and pretty much used all the lumber that I have. I've got a couple boards left. So what's next? We'll go first person shooter here. So what's next? Well, obviously next is to put our corral walls in. As you can see where I've got them staked off, and I'm probably going to move that again. I've second guessed, third guessed, fourth guessed this layout about 600 times. The reason why are my natural barriers. So the first thing I had to address are all these trees. See these small, we call them ironwood. I think they're hawthorns. I got to look that up because I don't want to give everybody bad information. But we always just called these ironwood trees. These things grow. They're understory trees, but they grow. They're super hard on chainsaw. They really are leaning out over this. So if I want to take these out, now would be the time, because once I get my boards up, I don't want trees falling across them. Well, in exposing that, I see back here, I've got 3 really nice tulip poplars that, actually 4 So I've got a tulip poplar here. So that one's got a little bit of a dog leg in it, but I can mill him out. But above that, my goodness, straight as an arrow. And you can see here's 2 here. The camera and my fingers don't line up. So 2 here that are tulip poplars. And then there's even another one back there. That's pretty nice. And I can get, I don't know if you can see this branch sticking up, I can get my tractor to there. And so that's, if I could get the tree to fall that way, I could just take it out that way with the road. Or I can drop them this way. So if I do that, then of course I want to get those trees on the ground prior to putting up my walls. The next issue I have is this, and I think I've shared this with you guys before, but check this out. So we've had a lot of rain, no doubt, in spring, and it hadn't rained for 3 days, believe it or not. So this spring right here, this hole of water, is just running water and gravel. There's gravel coming out of it like crazy. So it's just a really nice little spring. And you can see the amount of water, how quickly that clears from that gravel that's stirring that mud up. You can see my hand. So that's, a hole a little bit bigger than my fist. And it's just cranking out the water right now on my road. So you can see every bit of this mud here is from that hole of water. Now there's a couple other seeps here in the hillside, but this thing runs constantly. I don't know that I've ever seen this dry in the 20 years I've lived here. So this is just an incredible spring. It's nice to have it right beside a corral where I'm going to be sequestering pigs at times for breeding. So I got to figure out the best way to manage this. First thing I got to do is I want to get a ditch cut. Look how that's sinking up. I want to get a ditch cut against the hillside here, and that'll still be in line. So if I can get this on grade, get the ditch cut here, and come down and then culvert that to put all the excess over into the creek and get this to dry out. This is my road, so it's never going to dry out. It's always going to be a muddy mess. Then be able to divert that water, but then also put a spring box in there and some sort of retention, some way to, whether it's a submerged 55-gallon drum or some other means of capturing that water. So we'll keep documenting as we go along, as we do our build. The next step really is a mill too. I got to get my boards milled because I'm out of lumber to use for the walls. So we'll be firing up the mill again here soon and either cutting up some of this poplar. I've got some Virginia pine to cut for our boards. Well, hope everyone's doing well. Take care.